Hello and welcome back to our Pygame tutorials. Today we're going to try to build a map for our little game here. In a previous video we put together a sprite sheet. So we connected up this sprite sheet into our game so that we could move this character around here. But he's living in a very empty world, and I think what we should do is we should build a map for him. We're using this Sproutlands asset pack. I'd highly recommend that you get that. Then you can follow along and we can build a really cool map for him here. If you want to follow along with the code, then come along to this GitHub repo here. So whodev Pygame farming. And this is where we'll be probably putting together a few videos and building a little farming game. So I'll chuck this link in the description. Come along, grab that, clone it. That way you can work along at any stage. Let's see how we can start to put together a map for this little guy here. I'm using tiled, and we'll use this to put together the map for the player. I'll throw a little map together, just a basic sort of thing, and then we'll try and import it into the game and get it running. We're going to use this PyTMX to import the TMX file from the tiled program here. Let's start by creating a new project. We'll save it in our game directory here. So Pygame farming. Let's just chuck it in assets, and let's give it a new folder, tiled. And let's just call it Pygame farming. Okay, so this is our project here. Now we need to create a new map, and what we're going to do here is going to be an orthogonal map. That's the orientation. We'll keep it as CSV, keep it as write down, and what we're going to do is we're going to have 16 by 16. So that's how big our tiles are in this tile set here. So here's an example. They are quite tiny. So this here is 16 pixels by 16 pixels for each square in this tile set. So very small. We'll see. I think we'll see if we can scale this all somehow, because it is very small. Even the player walking around the screen here, he's tiny. Like, I don't even know if you can see the animation here on the video. So 16 by 16. Here you can see 480 by 320 is the size of it. So let's give it a little bit more. I mean, I think we have our windows set to like 1080 as the width. So this isn't even going to be half of that. So I mean, let's see. We can adjust the window size. So let's give it let's give it 50 by 30 tiles. Actually, no. Let's keep it as a square, just a 50 by 50. So 800 by 800. Okay, so before we forget, let's update our game so that it's working in the same dimensions. Okay, so here we have our screen width and our screen height. Currently it's 1080 by 720. So let's just make that 800 by 800. Just so that it's going to be the same as our map. So we know exactly how much space we have. And then here we can see now it's 800 by 800. So this is the size we're going to work with our tile map. So let's start putting some stuff together. Now we need to have a new tile set here, and this is where we're going to grab the assets from this pack here. So let's take a look. Here we go. Tile sets, ground tiles. And let's go to new tiles, and maybe we can choose these grass tiles here. Okay, let's leave all that. It's worked out at 16 by 16. So yep, we can save that. Let's just save it here undertiled and give it the same name that it has. Okay, so um, in this tab here, this is where we have them all, but we can go back to this tab, and this is where we can use them to start putting together our map. So this layer here, let's call this, let's just call it ground. And then we can start filling these in. So I think let's just do something really basic where we have kind of an island here, and it's going to be, whoops, it's going to be surrounded by water. Is that the eraser? Yeah. So it's going to be surrounded by water. But just to keep it really, really simple, we'll make a sort of island in the middle of the thing here. Okay, so hold down Shift and you can kind of create a line sort of thing. So it's not going to be the best map, but really we're just kind of learning how to put all this together, because then we can do cool things. Once we know how to get all this in there, then we can start doing some interesting things, making our own custom maps and levels and things like that. But for now, we just kind of have to go through this sort of process here. Right, so that's kind of our basic thing here. Let's just chuck in a few sort of random random pieces of grass and chuck in some different colored ones around the place. This one here too. So yeah, it's not the best looking map, but yeah, just like random sort of stuff around here. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so this is our ground here. Now, do I have a water tile? Not too sure. Let's see if we can create a new tile set. So new layer, where is that? Okay, new tile set. Okay, so let's find another image. Ground tiles, water frames. Here we go. Water. Okay, looks very simple. So let's just save that. We'll save it as water. And then here, let's create a new layer. So tile layer, and we'll call this water. And then here we can just give it, yeah, give it the water there. Now I think we need to have the ground layer on top of the water. So we'll do that. Cool. This I think is very, very simple. But this is going to be our map. So I think we probably could have a bit of variation in the water, make it look a bit more interesting. But yeah, I think yeah, I think that looks fine. So this is our map. Now let's save this TMX file. Where is the save button? Sorry, file, save as, and let's just call it island. Okay, so we have our island TMX. This is our map file, and this is what we're going to try to import into our Pygame, so we can get our player moving around here. Now, I think what we also want to do is have some kind of collision detection so that the player doesn't walk into the water. And maybe we can do that based on the two different layers. So the ground layer is the layer that they can walk on, and the water is a layer that they can't. So they'll just kind of hit that and not go any further. Then later on, we can add a whole bunch of interesting things. We can add odd objects and things like that. But for now, let's keep it simple. Let's get this imported and we'll go from there. So um, in our game directory here, we'll see we have everything in the assets directory. So this is where we have sorry, cd assets. This is where we have our tile directory and all the things that we've created here. So grass tiles, the islands, and our project. So let's just out of interest, um, let's see what this island TMX file looks like. So here we can see it's an XML file, right? Here you've got the different values, and then here it's all encoded as CSV. So these are the different tiles here. Here you can see, 81 is the water tile. 78, I think that might be a slight variation on the water tile. Actually, no, sorry, 78. That must be the land tiles. So, um, oh no. Sorry, so these are all water tiles. So here we've got this layer here is the water layer. So 81 and 78, they're all different water tiles. And then here, this is the ground layer. So here, yeah, here we can see it. So you can sort of see there's the boundaries. There's the grass. These are just empty with the 0, obviously. And these are, yeah, different grasses that we've added in there. So this is what we're going to import. And once it's in Python, we'll be able to go through and see like, okay, this is 81. So in this case, we show this water tile. Okay, so to import our tile map, we're going to be using this PyTMX package. So you can install it using pip install PyTMX. To make it a little bit more robust, I'm going to add this to the requirements.txt file and then install it that way. So in our directory, you see we've got this requirements.txt file. I'm going to add it here under Pygame. This one here, you just give it the package and then the version, and then it will install that. So then you can just do a pip install. You can tell it that it requires this file here, and then install it that way. Cool. So here we can see that it's successfully installed it. If you're running this for the first time, then it will install Pygame as well. So if you've cloned this repo from the GitHub, then when you run this, it will install Pygame as well. So now we have that installed, we've got PyTMX installed, we can actually start using it. So here we're going to use this this part of it here, load with Pygame surfaces. So that means we'll load the TMX file, and then that way we'll be able to extract a bunch of the Pygame surfaces, and we'll be able to blit those out to the screen. We're going to do a bit more. We're going to create a tile class so that we can make use of all the cool functionality in that. But let's just get started step by step and actually load this thing. So remember, we need to import it. So import from PyTMX util Pygame. We're going to import this load Pygame, and then let's go down to our main game class here, and let's just load it in as part of this class. So we'll say self map equals, and then let's load it in here. So load game. Okay, now where did we save it? Assets, tiled, and then it's our island TMX. So assets, tiled, island TMX. So assets, tiled, island TMX. All right, and now let's just see So we initialize our game here. Let's just see if we can output. Let's just print out um, game dot map. I think is what we called it. So let's just see what we get there, and then our main player. Cool. So here's our game running. Let's just put that to the side for a sec, because here it looks like we have an error here. So invalid escape sequence dash s. So in our main line 11. Okay, so that invalid escape sequence. Okay, so this one. Okay, so this one is complaining about the sprite sheet here. This is a totally different issue. It looks like we are actually loading the tile map. Let's just quickly fix this one here, because that's going to keep on coming up. So what we need to do is we need to escape. We need to escape these backslashes. So this is a Windows problem. If you're on Linux or Mac, you won't be experiencing this. But for us on Windows, it's something we're gonna have to deal with. So we'll look at making that more robust later. Okay, so that's made that error go away. And here we can see we're getting the tiled map imported this assets island. So it is importing. That's great. So we can make use of that now with our where are we? Where's our game class? Self.map is importing our tile map here, our island TMX. Okay, so now that we have this map here, it's not too helpful at the moment because we can't really see what's going on. I mean, all we can see is we've got this tiled map here, but we can't really see what are the different things that we can use there. So in the API documentation, let's see if we can get the layers from here, because we have. Okay, here we go. Tiled map. This actually, can we find the documentation for this whole class? Tiled map. Is that it? Yes. Okay, so this is what we're getting back. This is the tiled map. Sorry, that is what it is, isn't it? Yeah, tiled map. Okay, good. So what is available to us here? So tiled element contains the layers, object, and images from a tiled TMX map. Okay, get layer by name. Okay, this might be what we want, and then returns the layer, returns a tiled layer. Okay, this could be what we want because we know that we have both water and ground. So let's see if we can. Let's try and get our water first. Where are we going to do this? I think let's do this here outside of the sort of main game class, just so we can kind of play around with it um and see how it works essentially. So let's just call this experimenting with PyTMX. Okay, so we've got our game map here, and now game map. So what was it? Get layer by name. Get layer by name, and then we'll give it water. So let's just chuck that in a variable, and then ground is game map get layer by name, and that's ground. And then let's just first of all, we'll print that out. So let's print out water and then just see what we get there. Okay, so tiled layers, tiled tile layer, water. Okay, so that's good. It seems like getting um, we're getting this tiled tile layer here. Um, um, I guess now we need to work out what can we do with a tiled layer. Um, okay, can we get the tiles from the tiled layer? Let's see if that works. So print water dot tiles, generator object. Okay, interesting. Can we iterate through those? So for tile and tiles, and let's just see what we get back. Does that need to be function call, maybe? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So we're getting the surface here. Okay. Yeah, okay. This could be what we need to split out. This is good. It looks like here we have the different positions and then the surface of the tile. So we've got the X, Y, and then the surface by the looks of it. If we go to the documentation here, this type here, the tiled tile layer, it returns an iterator. So that's why we're able to loop over it. And that is the XY and then GID. The GID must be the surface in some way. Okay. Get tile image. Get tile image. Um, get tile image by GID. Okay, so we can grab the image based on this. So okay, let's try and output this. So we're gonna have to do this in our main game loop. But if we bring this in, so let's just go here and we can comment these out for now. So yeah, so okay, so we can get these layers here. I think it's still useful to do this. And yeah, let's just do it. Whoa, where are we gonna do it? Somewhere in our main game loop here. Where are we splitting this already? So here, draw. Yeah, okay. Let's just do it in the draw function here, the draw method. So we'll do it after we fill the screen. Then we'll put in the tile map here, and then we'll draw the player on top of it. So we'll have those kind of layers in the right place. Okay, so I guess we kind of want to do what we were doing before. So we'll grab the water. So we already have the so here it's gonna have to be self game map, and we'll get the water layer. So then this is where we're getting the water tiles. Um, so well, actually, sorry, yeah, this is where we're getting the layer. So then we can get the tiles from the layer. We're gonna have to store all of the variables, right? So we've got the X, the Y, and the GID because we're gonna need the GID here to get the tile image. Um, so okay, um, we're not gonna keep this code, but we just need to play around with it to get it working. So for X, Y, GI not get GID in water tiles. Uh, then let's just print those out. So X, print Y, and print GID. Let's see if this is working. Okay, so we've yeah, okay, so oops. Yeah. Okay, game object has no attribute game. That is true. We don't need game because we're using self. Okay, here we go. All right, so it's in the game loop, so it's going to continuously output them. If I close, hopefully it'll stop. Yep. Okay, so we're getting those same things that we were getting before, but now we've split them out into X, Y, and the GID. So now let's try the next step of actually trying to output this. So what do we have here? We've got okay, so the image object type will depend on the loader. So we these here in our case are surfaces because of how we've imported it, and the so up here we're using load Pygame, so it's loading them as surfaces. So that's what we're going to get there. This GID here. So let's just call it tile surface. Surface is going to be this image file here. Okay, so yeah, what is it? Self.map.get tile image by GID, and then that's where we can pass in the GID. Let's see what we get back here. Tile surface. GID must be expressed as a number. Um, okay, and we don't have a number. So, I mean, does that mean that it's already a surface? Can we just split that straight away? Okay. So, all right. Let's try instead. So this GID might be the surface straight away. So let's assume that. Then we can do our blit. What do we call it? Self screen. So self screen blit. And then I've totally forgotten. So if we do like GID and then we just give it coordinates of like 0, 0. Um, oh, it does. Okay. Huh. Okay, so we can blit that directly. We're gonna have to put them all in the right place. Okay, that is working. Okay. So I mean, what if we just chuck X and Y in here? Okay, it draws them like that. Why aren't we getting the whole map? Ooh, that is very bad. That is very, very janky. Okay, so we're trying we're trying to blit this out, right? And we seem to have the surface here. So this GID is wrong. So I mean let's fix that up now. So GID, this is actually the surface. Um, and let's just say tile surface. So okay, we can get rid of those because we know what they are. But here, this is not the GID. This is the tile. Whoops. This is the tile surface. Now, okay. So the problem we have here, and what we saw getting output, um, is this is not enough. This is the X and the Y is not enough. So um, let's run it. Actually, sorry, we're going to need the we're going to need to print out the X and the Y. So print X Y. Hopefully Python will let us do that. Okay, yep. So, okay, see how this is too small here, right? Like this needs to cover the entire size of the screen. But we're getting we're only getting a very small. We're only getting the number of tiles, not the number of pixels. So here, 49 doesn't mean 49 pixels. It means 49 tiles. So we're going to have to get, yeah. So that's 49 pixels, but really this is referring to 49 tiles. So we need that to be up to 800 pixels. So okay, so let's update this. So similar here to how our player has a frame width and a frame height, we're going to also need to have that for tiles. So let's have tile width and tile height. And that's going to be 16 by 16. So now when we go to blit it out on the screen, let's just get rid of that. When we blit it out on the screen, this is going to be x times, sorry. When we blit this out on the screen, this is going to be x times tile width by y times tile height. Okay, so let's see if that helps. It does. Okay, so that's much better. So now we're covering the entire screen with those tiles there. Okay, that's perfect. So it performs a bit better now that we're not outputting stuff all the time. So that's better too. Let's get back in here. So we're outputting our water tiles. Let's also output the ground tiles. So that was ground self map get layer by name ground for X, Y tile surface in ground tiles. Self screen blit tile surface x times tile width and y times tile height. All right, let's yes, okay, so now we have that. We've got the water outputting to the back here, and then we've got our little island being output as well. Okay, so obviously this is not enough. We need some kind of collision detection because right now the player can just walk straight into the ocean. We don't want that. We want to limit them from going out here. So I think let's do that in the next video. I think now we've got it output to the screen. We kind of are getting a bit better at working with this tile map and importing it. There's things we can do better. We can do this in a much better way with these special sprites here, these Pygame sprites. But yeah, but this is a good start. So if you're enjoying these videos, if you're enjoying this series, follow along for the next video. I think what we're going to do is we'll put together a whole farming game here in Pygame. We'll use this asset asset pack and we'll see if we can build a farming game.